go. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first of its kind. We have never had an online parents' evening before, and usually we would have all met you in person by now and started to put children's faces to parents' faces and tried to test ourselves with knowing who everybody is. So please excuse us if we haven't got that far yet. But thank you to everybody who's been sending in fab photos, because we're really enjoying them. So thank you very much. Hopefully we won't need to do too many things in the future like this, but it's a good practice for if we do in the future. Parents' evenings of a whole new way. So thank you for being our guinea pigs. I'm Marion Stevens, and I have taught at St John's School for the past 18 years. Loved it so much, I haven't ever wanted to leave this fabulous family. And actually now I'm honoured to be leading this family as a head teacher, which I'm hoping you've all had the letter about recently. So I am very, very excited to be leading such an amazing team and family of people, and welcome to all of you to joining our family. So I'm going to do some introductions, and way back when I started doing this and I would point to people, and I realised that not all of you can see everybody the same as I do. So I know who they are, and then in a moment they're going to introduce themselves. With us this evening, we have Mrs. Sarah Thompson, who is one of our fantastic teachers, who we're very lucky is going up to 3 days a week, being a teacher in the reception class in September, which we're really excited about. We're also really excited that Mrs. Helen Jordan is joining us. I was about to do the is joining us to be a rabbit class teacher on a Monday and Tuesday at St John's. Also on the screen we have Mrs. Linda Healy, who is our fabulous HLTA in reception class all the way through the week, and gets to know all your little darlings and meet them, which is fab. At the very she's at the bottom of mine, but she's by no means least, our Chair of Governors has joined us, Mrs. Claire Craven, who's also a parent. She's going to say hello to you as well. So I'm going to hand over to Sarah to do a quick hello, and then we'll get on with the slides.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Could you give me a thumbs up as well, because I've just unmuted. Yay! Hi everybody, good evening. I'm Mrs. Sarah Thompson. You might recognise me from some of the story videos that I've been sending out to our new rabbit class. So a little bit about me. I have been at St John's for 18 months. I started in year 1 and I'm now going up to 3 days in reception, like Marion said. I'm literacy leader there. I've got 11 years teaching experience, and yes, I'll be teaching Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Looking forward to meeting you all face to face very soon. Bye.
Over to Helen, and bless her.
Bless her.
Bless her. In at the jump end, Helen.
I'm Helen Jordan. I've got 2 lovely children who are quite grown up now, and I have been a teacher for over 26 years. So I've got mostly early years experience, and I'm joining from another primary school where I was doing year 1 and year 2, and I'm really excited because early years is the best year group to teach. So I'm very much looking forward to actually meeting you all, but I've only done everything virtually so far. So very much looking forward to September and actually meeting you all face to face. So
thank you very much, Helen. Let's see, Mrs. Healy, I think you might need to unmute yourself. Would you like to say hello? Oh, oh.
How you mute anyway?
I was gonna. Oh,
There
There
we
we go.
are. Oh, technology. Don't you just love it? No. I've been at St John's working for 17 years, always in reception, so a long time. But my association with the school has been much longer. I've had 3 children, all going through St John's, so I know the school pretty well. I've seen most things, but you know, children always surprise me, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of your children. And like Helen says, it's the best year, the best year. Okay, back to our leader.
thank you, Linda. And Claire, would you like to say hello?
I certainly can. Everybody hear me? Perfect. Welcome on behalf of the governors of St John's. It's lovely to see you all. I recognise some faces from the open days. As Marion mentioned, I have 2 boys, both who have been at St John's. One has moved on now to junior school, and I have a little boy who'll be moving into year 2, which is our badgers class. You'll get to know all these different badgers and foxes and rabbits and things. I've been therefore involved in the school for the past 4 years and on the governors for 3 years. It's a fantastic school. It's amazing. You're going to love it. And it's going to be a pleasure to work with the management team and with the team in reception. And I hope you enjoy it. So I'll hand over.
Thank you very much, Claire. Right, now here comes the really tricky bit. I'm going to try and share my screen with you, so you get to see what we would normally show you on a great big whiteboard. So it is here. Let's get going. And I'm hoping you can all see me, because, there we go. So welcome to St John's, and our aim for this evening is hopefully so that you get to meet us all in the reception class. We tell you a little bit about the curriculum and how it works. Now, school routines. Now, that's one we usually have set in stone, and we can tell you exactly, because the same thing happens virtually every year. Of course, in our current situation, we are developing that all the time, and practicing new practices, such as how many times we can wash our hands a day. We have very, very clean hands, I would like to say. It's slightly different this year, but still, we've had a great practice run so far this summer term with lots of the children in. So we've learned lots from that we can share with you. Now, there will be a chance to ask questions at the end, but with the power of Zoom, we can also do, if you know how to, if you want to, usually at the bottom of your screen, there is a chat function. And if you want to type in any questions there, you can type them in and we will try and answer them. Or at the very, very end, we can do a good old-fashioned hands up and we will try and speak with you or answer any questions at the end. So please watch this space. And as I say, there'll be a chance to answer them at the end. You have just met us all and the days that teachers are working in Rabbit class. So they're ready and they're going to be meeting you for those school visits when you come to see us in September, and they'll be really pleased to meet you there in person, which is so exciting. And I'm now going to hand over to Mrs. Thompson to tell you all about the curriculum and how it works in reception. Thank
Lovely.
you, Thompson.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. So looking at our foundation stage curriculum, there's the 4 underlying principles. First, every child is unique and constantly learning. Secondly, children learn to be strong and independent through their positive relationships that they form with their pupils, their peers, and the adults. Thirdly, children learning and developing in enabling environments with a strong relationship between parents and staff. And finally, children developing and learning in different ways and at different rates, which is really important to remember that one. Next slide, please, Marion.
Ta-da.
Thank you. So our foundation stage profile. So children are working towards their early learning goals. We refer to these as our ELGs. And these are expectations for most children to aim towards during their time in foundation stage. This year, obviously with things being slightly different, they will continue on from wherever they finish nursery, and we will take them on to their next steps. So by the end of their reception year, some children will have achieved or exceeded some goals or all of their goals, and some will still be working towards them. You'll receive information throughout the year at our parents' evenings, any informal chats we have, in the reading diaries that go home with your children, and of course staff at St John's are always happy to answer any questions. Next slide, please. So our first few weeks, we're starting school with our visits, and that will happen over the first 5 days, starting on the 2nd of September and taking us through to the 9th of September. And the idea is that normally we would have these as home visits, but obviously with the current situation we can't. So we're welcoming you to come into the school and talk to us and sort of get to look around the classroom. You can ask us any questions at this point that you've been thinking about over the summer. And the children will get to see and explore the classroom, which is brilliant for them because obviously we haven't been able to have them in for their induction days yet. And we can show them around and have a little bit of one-to-one time. So we're looking forward to that and get to begin our relationship with them and yes, start the year. So these small group introductions then, from Thursday the 10th of September, we will have one group who come in for 2 morning sessions, and that includes staying for lunch. And then the second group will attend, oops, just get back, thanks Mary, will attend the 2 afternoon sessions, and then we do a swap over. So that takes us, that's in 4 days in total. And in these sessions, we focus on getting to know each other, settling in, getting used to school and class routines. And then Wednesday the 16th of September is when we are offering all children the opportunity to come to school full time. So our day will start at 8:50 and end at 2:40, and all pupils will have lunch with us. And from this date forward, we begin our weekly routines, including our PE lessons and our forest school, and starting with our foundation stage curriculum. So our September recovery class routines, as you can see, it says that you can come around the school and meet the classroom teachers at the class door. So it'll be coming around outside and coming through the back doors. For children who are able to separate, we do recommend that they do so quickly, and then they'll be welcome to come into the classroom and to wash their hands and then choose their activity. And we are going to send out a video story for your children to have a look at this before they start, to show you an example of how they can do that really well. Saying goodbye. So obviously we would normally encourage you to bring your child into our classroom to support that morning routine. However, at the moment, this isn't able to happen, unfortunately. So we will encourage them to come in and wash their hands. And of course, you can speak to staff about any urgent information that you have at the door, or if you email into the office, and we'll endeavour to get back to you as soon as we can. As soon as your child has separated, then we would ask if you can leave as soon as possible, just so we have the opportunity to get everybody in and safe, and they can start choosing their learning. And we'll be working towards your child being able to come into school independently as soon as they're ready to. So, weekly routines. Your child will need, and everything needs to be labelled, please, shorts, t-shirt, trainers, and a water bottle, please. That will be bought in and taken home each day. And they will need to come to school dressed for Forest School 1 day a week, and we'll confirm with you which day that will be. And there is a Forest School uniform, which I'm sure you've been sent the details in the handbook inner. And children will be changing their library books once a week. This is a book to share with you, so they're not, the expectation isn't to read this by themselves, and this is from our school library that's on site. And Fridays we have our celebration assembly, and children are welcome to bring in any certificates or trophies from home to show the school and talk about them. Communication, language and literacy. So our first half term will be focused on language, communication and social development. And we will do this through playing lots of games involving speaking and listening and social skills. We'll be talking about letters and the sounds that they make, and we'll formally begin teaching letter sounds 2 weeks before half term in October. There will be plenty of reading happening, children listening to stories being read, and just lots and lots of reading happening within the class environment. The children will bring home a library book from the start of term and their reading books once our assessments are complete. And these books may be with words, or they might just be picture books to begin with. And we'll be offering parents more information about our phonics and reading in the autumn term. We do normally offer an evening that we use to introduce our reading scheme and things, so we'll definitely be doing something like that for you. And then mathematical development. So we make sure that the teaching of our maths is kept as practical and fun and visual as possible. Lots of times the children don't even realise that they're in a maths session. We're clever like that. So we'll begin with lots of number rhymes and counting and puzzles, counting forwards and backwards from a given number, using an apparatus called Numicon that's a really clever resource to support their understanding of numbers. It's actually on the bottom right hand side of the screen with the different colours, helps them with their number bonds, playing with shapes and patterns, and of course making comparisons in size and weight and length. I think that's it, Marion.
Back over to me. Thank you. No pressure, Sarah, because that was fabulous. So how can you help? How will you know about your child's learning? So at St John's, we've got lots of information on our website, which we'd like you to refer you to just have a look at quite frequently. Pictures go on there, photos go on there. We've been using it currently to put our home learning grids on as well. So it gets used frequently and probably even more so in the future. Newsletters are on there, so please check in with it regularly. We will write regularly in reading diaries about your child's reading, and you're very welcome to write in there about comments about your children's learning, or just a well done and how proud you are of them. You're also welcome to put any stickers or things in there that you would like to motivate them. That's fine too. We have formal parents' evenings in the autumn and spring term, and then you receive an annual report in the summer. But we do talk with you all the time. It's a constant dialogue. I know COVID is presenting a few difficulties in us doing that in the way we would normally do, but we're really adapting to this now, including technology. So we will do the best we can to keep up what we know is good practice, and that is talking to you regularly. We also, you might have seen a flyer in your pack to say we use an app called Marvelous Me, which we've used this year for the first time. It's an electronic communication with you, which we introduced after parents' comments about not hearing much about the child's day. So I don't know, some people seem to get word for word what we've said of a day, and we have to be careful what we say because it gets repeated completely word for word, and some will just get told that they didn't do anything or they just played. So or they had lunch. Lunch is quite an important one. So we started using Marvelous Me as a way of showing you and sharing the learning that goes on at St John's with you, so you can use it as a discussion and a dialogue with your child. We used to just give out stickers, which when you ask them what they got a sticker for, if it's even still on there at the end of the day, they had no idea. So this is kind of like an electronic sticker, but it will tell you what they got it for, so that you can then have a conversation. I hear you did really well with your counting today. What were you counting? How did you do it? And that, first of all, the child's really surprised that you knew anything about what they were counting. And it's a really good learning dialogue between you both. So it's had really good results this year, and we're hoping to keep improving that, adding more photos that we can send out, and keep you up to date with their learning. So it does look quite childlike sometimes with these the little characters that come home, but it's all designed in the best possible fun, I promise. Preparing your child for school, we often get asked, what can we do? So really, really helpful things are practicing using a knife and fork, throwing and catching and using Play-Doh, all build up the muscles in the hands, which is fantastic and really helpful when it comes to lunchtime. Although the challenge during COVID has been how to use a plastic knife and fork, which has been a whole new thing to learn, but I am told we're going back to proper cutlery in September, which we're very pleased about for the children and for the environment. So that's good. Nursery rhymes. Rhyming helps them when acquiring phonic knowledge. Counting rhymes help them with the number names. So as much rhyming and singing as you can do is brilliant. Reading stories, as Mrs. Thompson said, and discussing them, we cannot tell you how important it is. We are going to be doing lots of it, but the more you do over the summer, the better. And I will also stress, even when your child learns to read, don't stop reading to them. It's so important. They develop language skills before they learn to read them themselves or write them. So the more you read to them, the more wealth of vocabulary and experiences they will have. So please read, read, read. I think Mrs. Thompson, and this one you'll see is underlined and bolded. Please ensure all PE, not just PE kit, but all school uniform is labelled. I have known people label socks. As long as you don't mind a different grey sock coming home, I'm not suggesting you have to label all the socks, but please label your child's. It helps us get them back to you when they get lost. We try to develop routines of them dressing and undressing to help, but it really helps us if they have their names in everything. Being as independent as possible at dressing and undressing themselves will really help them as well. I know in that summer weather in the holidays, it's just a pair of shorts and a t-shirt if you're lucky. So keep practicing that and it will set them on a good path. They do need to have a coat in school. We are always a school that likes to be outside, but even more so in the current climate. So please make sure they have a coat in school. You know the British weather, it will change at any point. We are part of the government free fruit scheme. So we will offer children fruit, but there isn't really a selection of fruit each day. It is what we have being delivered. If you know your child wants a specific thing, then they can bring their own fruit, but we're happy to try and encourage them to eat whatever is available, but you can do either. In your pack as well, you've probably had the leaflet about the cool milk, at which your child will be eligible for until they turn 5. It's free, and after that there's a small charge. Most of the children start by giving it a try, so and it helps fill them up and get them through the day. The last one is obviously all children at different stages, but if you get the chance, it will help if your child is able to wipe themselves when going to the toilet, because they will feel more comfortable and more grown up. So thank you very much for that. This one is a new slide for us because obviously we are heading into the recovery phase of school. So if you have been back at nursery, you've probably had similar measures in place. We are still required to stagger arrivals and departures. Ooh, now that sounds reminiscent of holidays, if only. So Rabbit class will be given the arrival time of 8:50 and collection time of 2:40 at the moment. We really want to return to usual times as soon as possible, and we will as soon as we can. It's been working really well at the moment that we've changed the way children come into school, and we're very lucky to have a fantastic site that means we've got a one-way system working really well. So we are going to continue using that for the autumn term. We will wash our hands at regular intervals during the school day. Not always singing happy birthday every single time, but we do wash them thoroughly at least 5 times a day. We are going to try and keep Rabbit classes, as we usually do this anyway to a certain extent, try and keep them a separate bubble from the other classes to begin with as much as possible. So we are a big family and we do like to mix, but at the moment we would keep Rabbit class separate for their playtime and their lunchtime and let them settle in, and let's see what restrictions are in place and as that develops through the autumn term, but we will try and keep them as separate as possible. We will send you information about clubs, and I'm hoping to send out a letter this week, tomorrow, gauging your need for clubs, both the breakfast club and the after school club. And it may be that our plan for reception children is that they are advised to use the school breakfast club and the school after school club, but not yet the skills clubs, because the rest of the school may be using those, and then we can help stop mixing between clubs. But we're going to send a letter out to gauge what levels of need there are for before school and after school clubs. Now, usually we would have our fabulous catering manager to this evening, and she's usually made some samples for you to try. So I'm really hoping you've all got something tasty there to nibble on at home, or are looking forward to a glass of wine in a moment, because obviously we haven't got those samples for you at the moment, but most of our children at St John's have the school lunches. They're cooked on site. I've been told during the current term they've been fantastic, and they've been eating them out of boxes that one child reported it was fabulous because they got delivered to them. So they found waitress service really exciting. So we've really enjoyed that, and it's gone down really well. The catering company are returning to their normal menu for September, and we are in discussions about whether it's going to be in disposable cartons still in the future, but definitely going back to proper cutlery, which is really exciting, in September. Oh, now we're over to any questions. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, I hope. There we go. And you're all back with me now. It's really strange. I can see you all now. Is there anybody who would like to share or ask a question? It's all gone quiet. Oh, brilliant. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Abby and Joe, we're Freya's parents. It's really lovely to meet you at last. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. We've been talking on the telephone.
And it's a joy to be here because, you know, as you well know, it's been a bit of a mission over the summer. So yes, it's lovely to be here. I have two questions if possible. The first one is about the half-day sessions, so the morning and the afternoon sessions.
Yes.
Is that for the children to come in their normal school uniform, so they get used to that?
Yes, we would encourage it to be as normal as possible. So yes, school uniform, and yes, as if they're coming to school, but it's a bit like the induction sessions we would have run. They're a small section, and we get to meet them, bond with them in a smaller group. We started doing this when used to be always the younger children that seemed to sort of join a bigger group and missed out. So we do divide them up into, usually by their sort of where their birthdays fall. So we know we've got a younger group and an older group to start with, and we can make sure we focus on those younger ones getting as much time and bonding as the older ones in a smaller group.
Perfect. Okay, so uniform, and then it really was just a question of if you can confirm what the timings are for those half-day sessions. Because I know you said that the morning one kind of goes up till lunchtime, but so presumably she'd be sort of 8:50 till whatever lunchtime is. But then what time would the afternoon session start?
Okay, yeah. I will double check what went out, but I would say yes, 8:50 to 1:10. And then 1:30 till, I'm going to say, because of the staggered timings that we've just changed, I'm going to say 1:30 until 3 o'clock. Okay, so morning would be 8:50 till 1:10, and then afternoon would be 1:30 till 3 o'clock.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's okay. Hello, Mrs. Wilson.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Lara. I'm George's mum.
Hi.
I just wondered, I know parking at drop-off and collection can be a nightmare in church. Are there any rules or any etiquette that we should know about before we upset anyone or park?
Okay. Well, I have to say, there is one thing to be said for staggered timings, that parking has been one of the greatest things in this, because people aren't all arriving at the same time, and so it's actually been much smoother. Etiquette for parking generally is that the public house opposite do let us use their car park in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've now got a big marquee out there, so there will be reduced parking in there, I would imagine. Barford Lane, lots of people use it, but it is really busy.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, please use it with care, especially if you've got several children and you're trying to get them out on the road. Our favoured option is to use the tennis court car park, which is up past the village hall, and actually the parish council have put a pathway down the recreation ground, just a bark chipping path, so that you can come out near the village hall just there and across the crossing. So that's the favoured safest route, but I appreciate not everybody has time to do the walk down, but if you've got time, it's definitely the area where there's more parking and it's safer walking.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nice to meet you, George's mum. Oh, Mrs. Calvert.
It's Gemma Robinson. Sorry, that's my maiden.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Sophia's mum. I've got a couple of questions about hedgehogs.
Yeah.
Is it running from day one?
That's what I'm just going to send this part out tomorrow, just to kind of start gauging need. Our aim is to do that, but we're under restrictions about how much mixing we do. So we just need to make sure we've got everything right there. I really want it to be because we've missed it this term. We haven't been able to operate it. So our aim is to get it operational with safety measures in place. So yes, it would be, hopefully.
Great. And presumably the 3 p.m. finish will be ASAP, will it? Or do you intend to keep going with the 2:40 for a while?
It really is down to the government measures of and when those next change. Their advice at the moment is still the staggered finishes.
Okay.
Again, we've learned from doing it this time, we were leaving bigger gaps. We've reduced the gaps. If it's working really well, hopefully we can reduce the gaps between them even more and bring it closer to 3 o'clock. But we just need to try it out first.
Okay. And my second question is, with the cooked meals,
yeah,
do you choose those meals, or is it one meal per day, or do you get to, is it a set menu? Or
it is a set menu, and it's generally the main meal that's cooked every day. Because we're so small, there isn't lots of options and choices available for the children to choose at the time. They get asked whether they would like everything that's on the menu, and they get to say yes or no or small, just to try a bit. And we encourage them to try things so that they've got a variety of things. If you have filled in the dietary request form for vegetarian or special diet, then they will, there's menus for each of those things that will be cooked for them each day.
okay.
But
Thank you.
It is one option with a few decisions to be made about how much you like something.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm peeking.
I have a question.
Oh, please.
Hello, I'm Polly. I'm Millie's mummy. My question is, trainers, there are all sorts of different colours. Do they have to be navy? Do they have to be white?
No, any colour you
they're
like.
green flash.
Any colour you like.
Okay.
As long as they're
Brilliant.
comfortable and they fit their feet. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. The other thing I meant to say is, along with the club's letter, I'm going to send out, because normally at this kind of event, we'd have asked for a class representative to ask you if you were happy for your phone numbers to go on a WhatsApp group and start something like that. Now, obviously, because of GDPR, we're not supposed to give things out. But I have created a, in extreme circumstances, COVID letter that says if you were happy to give over your information and we could pass them on to somebody to organise a class group so that you could all be in contact over the summer, is that something people would be interested in and would give their permission for? Yes, I've got some. So I'll get that letter out, and if you can get that back to us, I'll start getting that underway. As I say, we wouldn't normally be able to, but you know, I think it's really important, and then you can kind of talk to each other along the way. Now, we don't have a huge number of siblings in this group this year. So I do know that Mrs. Lovelock down there is a fantastic class representative at the moment.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens, for the, the confidence.
She's done a fantastic job, who might like to take on that mantle, I'm not sure, but I'll speak to her afterwards. And see if we can get that underway for you, because I know it's been really useful to some other people, to other year groups as in the past, including kind of meeting up on occasions, obviously following all COVID secure advice in the current circumstances. I sound like a broken record. I'm really sorry. I've been saying these things so many times in the last few weeks, but it does help to keep us all safe, and we want you all safe and starting with us in September. So please do. Anybody? I think Charlotte at the bottom. Well, you're at the bottom of mine. Can you unmute your...
Hello. You hear me?
Hello.
Hello. We're
Oh, I've lost you.
you lost us.
Oh, I can hear you again now.
Just because we've got Barney and Foxes starting in September, what happens if we have 2 siblings, as in dropping off collection? Do they still have the staggered times then?
No, so you can drop them in at the earliest time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And pick up.
We're not going to ask you to keep going round the loop.
Okay.
No, we've got to make it as easy as possible.
So when you tell us Barney's timings, we'll just do it by that, and then.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good summer.
Me and Barney have got rabbits.
I'm looking forward to it, boys.
Real rabbits.
I saw a question over here from Mr. Oki.
Yeah, hi Marion, Henry's dad.
Oh, hi.
Apologies, I'm not sat with the wife. I'm just about to start a night shift, so we haven't had a row or anything, don't worry.
Yeah, I was worried about you in the car, thinking I don't know that I need to do a disclaimer. Please don't drive while you're listening to me.
That's right. I've been in a fire engine in a bit, so don't worry. Quick question, Marion. Do the children get older people to act as a mentor or sort of prefect equivalent to shadow them? And
in the past, we have done a buddying system, but again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. That we've got to minimise contact. So as yet, that wouldn't really be advised if we're minimising the contact between classes. So
would you normally have that excluding COVID or?
Yeah, we do like to buddy them up, and usually when they've been on their induction day, some of the older children to start with are in the classroom with them, playing with them. So normally that would have already been started. Unfortunately, again, it's something that we can't do much mixing between classes like we would normally do. So this year it'll be slightly different, but they'll be being buddies to each other. We also have electronic ways of communicating between classes, and our year 2s are definitely keen to be the leaders of the school and the role models. So we'll do some mixing, maybe on screens to start with, or outside from a distance. We might try and have some meetups outside, but we're not allowed to share things or cross over as much as we normally would.
Lovely. Thank you, Marion. Cheers.
That's okay. Good luck on your shift.
Hopefully.
Oh. Is there any more questions? Well, I have to say, you've been a fantastic audience. Does anybody want to come off mute and say anything to each other, or say hello, or? You all right? I think. Hello, Mrs. Lovelock.
Hello.
Mrs. Lovelock has got Felix coming into rabbits.
Yes.
And we're very excited.
He's very excited. And George about to leave badgers.
Absolutely. So we get to see him next week.
Yes, he's really excited. Brilliant.
Well, what I will say is, if there is anything you think of over the summer holidays, please, we will be monitoring not so much the rabbit class email. That's okay for children's photos to us, but for information and questions, please use the office email address, and it will be monitored all summer. So at any point, please get in contact and we will help you in any way we can. Okay. We're looking forward to seeing you all on those visit days. The school, we haven't sent you all the photos we want to send you yet, because we're very excited to hopefully have several projects over the holidays. One of which is new fencing and security gating, so that it shuts and locks without our manual padlocking. So the front of the school might look a little bit different. So we haven't sent photos of that yet. And the playground also will be freshly painted, hopefully, on the 1st and 2nd of September. So that's going to look a little bit different too. We're very excited about that. The third thing is we're having the boiler done. Don't think you really need a photograph of that, but very exciting projects nonetheless. So we will get photos to you as soon as we can, and little videos of coming in and how it's done. but we hope you have a fantastic, super safe summer. You're very welcome to keep sending in pictures of what you do over the summer, because we're all enjoying seeing them and getting to know the children. Believe it's amazing how much you get from those photographs. So please feel free to keep sending them in, and ask us any questions by email and we'll get back to you. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy
Thank
summer.
you very much.
Have a fantastic summer.
And you.